the Scorpio full moon yesterday that we had. It is going to still be affecting all of us this whole week. So if there is some massive disruption, heavy emotions, volatility, secrets coming out, right? A cleansing, a clearing away, we know it's because of the full moon in Scorpio that happened yesterday. Let's get some cleansing energy. What I'm going to do today is just do a little collective for everyone, okay? We just had Mother's Day, if you celebrate, and we just had the full moon. It's a good time to get in touch with whatever you believe in. When I say God on here, I know a lot of people will ask me. Um, that to me is a rather subjective idea. And whatever you believe in, whatever your um, higher power, collective, source consciousness, God, whatever it is for you, your higher self, we're connecting with your higher self to allow you to work through any confusion or conflict that you might have surrounding a situation, whether it's the right thing for you. And it's subjective and it is all encompassing. So it's anything. It's anything that you can think of that you could be possibly entangled in. A good way to ask yourself if this is the right thing for you. I always say, would your parents approve of it? Now, if you don't have a healthy relationship with your parents, you could say, would my higher self approve of it? Or would God approve of this? So, and that's subjective, and it absolutely can help you get out of things that maybe you're attached to for different reasons. A toxic job, a relationship that maybe doesn't suit you anymore, or maybe it does suit you. Maybe there's something that's challenging you in the right way, but you're struggling to see it, right? So you can ask yourself that question. Hi there. Ask yourself that question. Would my parents approve? Would my higher power approve of this thing or this person or this situation? And if the answer is no, I think that you have your, then you know maybe it's time to make a change. And we'll see what the tarot has to say about this. Do the powers that be approve of what I'm doing? The world. So, the world is a time of embracing new beginnings. It's a cycle of completion. And as far as relationships go, this sometimes represents karmic relationships. But a lot of you guys could be asking yourself this question because you're starting a new chapter in your life, right? There's something new that wants to come in, and we always have to make space. Hi from Miami. Oh my God. Yes. We have to make space. Now, as I was saying before, we just had a full moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is the death card. Scorpio is the tower card. Scorpio is the bulldozer. What is that Miley Cyrus song, Wrecking Ball? The tower is that wrecking ball that comes in and destroys, bulldozes what isn't even supposed to be there, right? And that's why we sometimes need to put it into perspective. We have the Two of Cups here. I know a lot of you guys come here for relationships, and it is so easy to ask yourself, would God approve of this person? Chances are it's probably going to be a no, right? I mean, maybe it's a yes, but good relationships and good people are so hard to find, and we attach ourselves to the wrong things, to the wrong people, because we're afraid of uncertainty, because we think we can't do better. Two of Cups here comes in. Two of Cups is mutual respect, mutual attraction. And it isn't always romantic. It's a base level, okay? And I feel like you are starting, a lot of people now are starting new chapters because we just had the full moon. The agent of change came in, Scorpio came in, highlighting the secrets, highlighting the things that you need to look at, and taking away, destroying, blowing up in your face, making difficult those things that you're meant to let go of, because we're turning a new page where we're embracing relationships that are built on mutual respect and appreciation, right? And then we have this little page of wands here. This is a messenger. This is a messenger of God, messenger of the angels, whatever you believe in, okay? The spirit world, your ancestors, is bringing something good in here. But you have to be ready to accept it, because as one door closes, a window opens. You have to make space. You have to make space for these good things. Yeah, so a lot of you guys could be, there could be a message coming in for you. And now remember, when we're dealing with the spirit world, whatever the spirit world is, whatever you believe in, messages can come in all types of ways. It isn't always you could get a phone call, you could get an email, but you could be getting messages from the afterworld or the spirit world in synchronicities form. Okay, I highly recommend you guys look up what your aura type is. That's going to be the human design, and it's going to see, are you a generator? Are you a manifesting generator? Are you a projector? Do you wait to respond? Do you initiate? Do you give information? And that is going to let you know the type of action that you have in this world. So there's messages coming through. The spirit world is always talking to us. If only you would listen. And sometimes it comes in dreams. Sometimes it comes in thoughts. Sometimes it comes in the form of gut feelings. Sometimes it comes with destruction. And it's not always a phone call. It's not always a DM. You have to be open to receiving. Because once you get these messages, from the other world or from God or from your ancestors, you have to listen to what they're telling you. And sometimes that means facing the truth, that something has to end so that something new can come in. Two of Pentacles here, because there's uncertainty. There's this uncertainty. There's this, should I stay or should I go? Should I continue doing this? Right? Whenever I see twos here, because we got the Two of Cups and then we got the Two of Pentacles, that's always a crossroads. Okay? I always see in numerology number 2 as being at that crossroads, wondering if, and that's when you will get the answer, but you have to be ready to receive the answer. The Sun. This is actually Le Soleil. Once again, there's two on here. The number 2. Being at a crossroads. If you're asking yourself, if you're curious about something, someone, or a situation, you're numerologically at number 2, the crossroads, right? Should I stay? Should I go? I feel uncertain. I feel overwhelmed. I don't know. Okay. And then the summertime is coming, but also with the sun, it's illuminating. It's illuminating things. Things will become clear. You will get the messages that you want. Don't be confused when they come in, because sometimes they come in and they confuse you and they make you feel like, should I? No, you have to be clear when you get these messages from the other side, from your ancestors, from God. You can't question it. Because if you are already on the fence about something and you get the answer, you can't be afraid to act on it, whatever that is. Also, astrologically, the end of June is going to be a really good time for us. Whatever we're clearing away right now, because that Scorpio, that agent of change, the changes that we're making, it's going to become really, really clear why we had to do that, why we had to make those changes, why we had to do what we had to do, why we had to make space for the good things, for the mutual relationships, okay? The summer months, when things are going to be lighting up. And for a lot of the signs, that's like the end of June, the summer months here. Now, this is a collective reading, so I can't answer specifically yes or no, that person is meant for you. I can't answer that question for you. You have to do the work. There is however many people are going to tune in. So I wouldn't be answering the question for you. You have to do the work yourself. You have to do that yourself. Hemant, I am not answering questions today. If you want to do a private reading, that's the only way to get a good message. That is going to be $20. We have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is action energy. And the summer months, we're going to be moving forward. We're going to be charging forward on those things that we're meant to do, okay? So now is the time to figure out what that is. To ask yourself, you know, would God approve of this or would they not? Also, slow down. The Knight of Swords is quick moving energy. So take your time. Take your time with things, especially if you feel uncertain, uneasy, questioning, standing at the crossroads. That is something that takes time for you. Don't be impulsive. Oops. Wow, we have a lot of cards coming out here. Don't be impulsive in making these decisions. Okay. What do your ancestors want you to know? Are you getting messages from the spirit world? Are you getting synchronicities? Are you seeing animals? Yes, Hamat Vahar. I'm going to be doing, at some point, I'll be raffling off a question. So you could get a chance to answer that. Have your question answered. Ace of Pentacles. This is the newness, okay? So a lot of you guys who are coming to this reading are being prepared for something new, because we have the World card, which is, it's the completion of a cycle, maybe a karmic cycle, or maybe a huge project or something momentous in your life. It depends. It could be a relationship, could be anything, okay? There's a lot of you. But we have the Ace of Pentacles, and this actually, I feel like this is going to happen in a whole year. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's why I said, even though you're making these changes to usher new things in, it still takes time. Ace of Pentacles, whatever that is to you, this major thing, this major stability. Relationships are, if this is a relationship, it takes time to build a good relationship, and we're building a good relationship. We're not just, you know, oh, my twin flame, they're going to complete me and it's going to be magical. That's some woo-woo stuff, and that's not how it works, okay? You have to do it together, do the work, lay the foundation. It's not easy having a relationship, but this is going to be coming in. A lot of you guys, a year from now, are going to have some major positive changes from whatever this cycle that you're phasing out, and this new cycle that you're entering into. A lot of positive changes in a year from now. If you ask yourself that question, you know, does my higher power want this for me? We have the Eight of Swords. A lot of you guys, I see this a lot just as a human, having blocks, mental blocks, limiting beliefs, keeping yourself stuck, right? Sometimes we don't, you know, make the changes that we need to make to have these things that we want because of imposter syndrome, because we beat ourselves up mentally, because we're afraid of that we can't handle the failure, and that keeps you stuck, right? Eight of Swords, keeping you stuck, mental restriction, blockages, you know, negative self-talk. We have, this is Temperance here, the number 3, creativity, celebration, be patient. Once again, it's all coming down to being patient for the messages to come, being patient, also tempering yourself. Sagittarius energy. This is also an angel. I see the Temperance as an angel. You have to ask your angels for help sometimes. hence the title of this video. Would God approve of it? Whatever your God is, you have to ask for help sometimes, especially if you're in a place of imposter syndrome. Am I psyching myself out? Am I just thinking bad about myself because I have some self-esteem, or because I'm afraid? Or am I really not supposed to do this? Because believe it or not, that gut feeling that is supposedly intuition can sometimes just be anxiety, and it can just be fear of failure. Because we think that we'll never recover from failure, but failure is actually the key to success. As they say, rejection is God's protection. Yes, that can be applied to absolutely anything, because it's not really rejection. It's not really failure. A scientist, what do? They have to do tests to see, okay, that didn't work. That didn't work. Now I know that this isn't it. And that's how we have to see relationships, or jobs that, don't work out for us, the things that don't work out for us. We have to see that as that was a test to see, is it going to stick? No. So that's not the direction for me. And you're asking your angels, and you're asking God, and you're asking your ancestors, is it for me? Well, maybe if it's too hard, maybe if you're questioning it, maybe it's not supposed to be there. But let me tell you this. I'll tell you this, because if you are 100% about someone, the minute that you meet them, take off the rose-colored glasses, because you're probably glossing over all of the red flags. Don't gloss over the red flags. No, because you're just denying yourself something better from coming along. The force, the strength. I love that. Yes, we have to be strong. We have to be mentally strong too. Because when we get these messages from spirit, from God, from ancestors, from our higher power, whatever you believe in is out there, it comes in, the downloads come through your thoughts. It comes through the brain and the dreams and the thoughts and the daydreams and the visions. And you have to be mentally strong. Because if you get this vision and you're like, oh, this is it, this light bulb moment goes on, but then you have that little voice in your head that says, you can't do it. Nope. That is your ego. Our ego is good, but it can also be a sense of pride that we have. Like, no. If you do that and you fail, you're going to look like a fool. No one's going to look up to you anymore. That is the ego, okay? That is not you. That's like devil energy in your head preventing you from going forward. Failure is a part of success. Things that don't work out are leading you to the things that are meant for you. Hi, Kajal. Hello there. Hi, guys. I did not do the questions live this Sunday, last Sunday, because it was Mother's Day. So hopefully you all had a good Mother's Day. And yes, if you want a free question, I'm going to only be raffling off one this Sunday. So it's going to be extra special and extra important for you guys to show up if you want one. Otherwise, book yourself a private reading with me. Is the only way to know, only way to 100% know what's going on, because these general readings are only for entertainment. You get messages, you get knowledge, but it's not personal for you. We have the Valet of Swords, the Page of Swords. Get more information, okay? Get more information. Get curious. Ask more questions. Ask questions. When you write the letter to God. Write the letter from God. Okay. Well, Kajal, you have to talk to God. Hi, P. Whatever your God is, you have to talk to them. You can't, I mean, we are messengers. Tarot readers are messengers, but you have your own relationship with God. That's why we tell you to journal, because believe it or not, the things that you write down are messages from spirit. They're messages from God himself, whatever is out there. So you can write yourself a letter from God, write yourself a letter to God. All that helps. Prayers, yes, that's all. It's all well and good to keep you connected to that higher power. I'm doing all right, P. How are you? How's school? You haven't, well, Kajal, I'll bet you that you have been getting messages. You just maybe don't like them. Because sometimes we get messages and we don't like them. We don't like what they are. We don't like what they have to say. Um, and it's not always the way, we don't always receive these messages and synchronicities the way that we expect to or the way that we want to. Page of, well, we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands, we have a lot of things to do in this life. We have a lot of busyness to do in this life, but we don't ever sit down. That's why meditation is so important, because meditation, prayer, stopping the busyness, sit down and sit with your thoughts and sit with your feelings, because what you're doing when you're sitting down is you're sitting with God. You're sitting there with it, with your higher power. You're sitting with it. Keeping yourself busy constantly, you're going to be completely disconnected from your higher power. So sit down with it, journal, write that letter from God, and you're going to get the answers that you want, but they might not. Well, you're going to get answers, but they might not be the answers that you want. Okay. And it's really, 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 really simple. I say this all the time, especially with relationships, because people are fake. They wear masks. They will do that to get what they want. And you can't let somebody's flesh mask fool you. If you're getting inconsistencies, do you think that your higher power would tell you, yes, be with that person who's inconsistent with you? That's not for your highest good. Yes, be with that person who leaves you unread. Yes, be with that person who hasn't put a title on it. No, I don't think so. It's pretty simple, but it can be very lonely, and we're all afraid of that loneliness. So, but once again, if you believe in God, if you believe in a higher power, are you really alone? No, you're not. You're walking with God, you're walking with your ancestors, you're walking with spirit, with divine purpose, away from the things that are only distractions. The quickest way to get someone off of their divine purpose is through lust and temptation, right? The devil isn't a real thing. The devil is really just bad, anything bad for you. That's what the devil is. And that can be a person. And that people are sent as a distraction from your purpose, as a distraction from your path, as a distraction from your goodness. And so you have to remember that. And it's really, really very simple. But like I said, it can feel lonely. You're not really alone, though. You're never really alone. Not if you believe in the higher power. So, and if you break it down like that, it's really very simple. And you can apply that to anything. If you're asking about a job, a career, and let's say you really, really want a career in the movies, but you keep being cast in these movies where the directors are asking you to do things that you don't feel morally right doing. Do you think that God would want you to do that? No, I don't think so. It's not good for your soul. If it's not good for your soul, then it's a no. You applied for a job? Oh, good. Well, you just remember, if you don't get the job, it's not meant for you. There's something better. Okay, keep going. What can I learn from this? Right? So, and the art of detachment is really, really going to help you with this, because the less that you attach your emotions to the outcome, the easier it's going to be. Good luck, Kajal. I hope you get it. Yeah, the less that you attach your emotions to an outcome, the better you're going to feel. The easier it's going to be for you to move on from things that aren't meant for you. Okay? And this is, let me explain for you the runner chaser dynamic. Now, I talk about twin flames all the time on here. I don't believe in them. It's okay if you believe in them. That's fine. But the runner chaser dynamic, right? If you apply that principle to anything, because it really makes a lot of sense, what they're trying to teach you is the art of detachment. If you are so attached to someone and you're so clinging on to them and you're putting all this energy towards them, it's going to make them run away, right? That's the whole runner chaser dynamic. I'm trying to move on, but I can't. Well, this is the thing. You have to detach from the outcome, because the more that you want that thing that you're clinging to, the less you're going to get it, the more it's going to run from you. Maybe it isn't even meant for you. Maybe the reason that you're clinging on to that person or that job or that friend is because of your own shadow, your own trauma, your own sense of self-worth, your pride, your ego. That's when the tower comes in. That makes things chaotic because you're clinging to something that wasn't even meant to be in your life because of pride or ego, or because you're afraid of being lonely, right? Does God want that for you? Does God want you to cling to someone who doesn't care about you? No, no, no. You're going to lose self respect. And I know I'm being a little harsh right now, but it's really hard to get it through to you guys out there to let go of that person. Let them go. Whoever it is, let it go. Okay? Because I know that it hurts. But what it really hurts is your pride, your ego, and your self-esteem and your confidence. And if you're honest with yourself, you weren't happy anyway. So get happy. Detach from it a little bit. And that's when they come back. And by the time they come back, you have already moved on and you don't want them anymore. And when they come back, they're just going to try and use you. That's almost what always happens. I'm not saying that it never works out when an ex comes back. It's just really, really rare, because people only change when they're forced to change, when they have no other option. So you know that God wants more for you. You know that. And if someone is meant for you, it doesn't matter if they're your soulmate, your twin flame, if they're the one. None of that really matters what you call them. What matters is how they make you feel and how you guys work together. That's all you have to focus on. It's really, really simple. Don't confuse yourself with all these titles and stuff like that, right? None of that really is important at the end of the day. You have to make someone work for it. You have to have that prize mentality. That's the detachment. That's the being in the I attract, I don't chase mentality. And you can apply that to everything. Apply that to jobs, apply that to goals. You do have to put effort in, but you can't be so attached to it that you're losing sleep, because then it's not fun anymore. Then it's not good for you anymore, right? So I know we overthink things. We think too much about certain things. We overanalyze it. So we got to get out of our head, into our body, write that letter to God, and then He'll write you that letter back, which is really you writing the letter from God. And all the answers are there. They're all there. You have to be ready to receive them. If you're not ready to receive the answers, you're going to be clinging to something really that's not right for you, because you're trying to fill a hole. You're trying to fill an emptiness. You're trying to find connection. You're welcome. We all want connection, but you always have that connection to the higher power. It's always there for you. And in this day and age, it's really good to build a tribe around you. Have you guys seen those memes online about, boyfriends don't always last, but friends and family do? It's important to make sure that you have a community around you. Because jobs don't always last, boyfriends don't always last. But if you have family and friends, then you'll always have people around you, people in physical form, not just in the spirit world. Then we have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is standing for conviction, right? Fighting for the things that are right for you. But it also can be defensiveness. I sometimes see this as, having trust issues, building walls around yourself. Sometimes we hang on to things that aren't really meant for us, people, places, and things, because, it's a trauma response. Like, oh, Of course I didn't get that thing or that person. This is typical. This is me. That's a victim mentality. That's a trauma response. And you have to check your ego. And, ego is important, but you have to make sure that it doesn't get super inflated. We're not entitled. None of us are entitled. That minute that you feel entitled to that thing, you're missing the whole point of it. You're missing the point of it, right? You're going to get humbled. If you think that, you're entitled to somebody's love just because you spent 2 years with them, waiting for them, no, absolutely not. You're going to get humbled so hard. Absolutely humbled. And I think those ego checks are the hardest ones because, you poured so much heart in it and soul into it. But why did you really do it? What was the intention behind you doing the thing? What was the intention behind you calling someone, texting someone, buying something for them, waiting for them to come back to you? What was the intention? Was the intention that you were lonely? Was the intention that you wanted to control that person? Was the intention that you think if you bought things for them that they owed you love or affection? Because then it's on you. You're going to get humbled so hard. Nobody owes you anything. When you do things, you have to make sure that you're doing it out of a loving place, not out of a controlling place, not out of a lonely place, not out of a desperate place, none of that. Okay, because you're going to get hurt and it's really going to blow up in your face. And that's a tower moment. So, yeah, it's hard. It's hard because a lot of us light workers end up being people pleasers because we don't realize that we're trying to fill a hole within us. So why did you do the thing? What was the intention behind it? Did you really give person love to give them love, or was it because you wanted the love back? That's a really dangerous place to be. Ooh. And there we have God. This is God in the tarot, the Hermit, which is number 9. And he's got the lantern there, he, she, it, whatever you believe, shining the light on the inner knowledge. Yes, the Hermit is isolation, but it's also enlightenment. It's that inner enlightenment, that inner wisdom that you have. But it's also the number 9, which is an ending card. Sometimes we isolate when we realize that there's something that's ending. This is actually year number 9, year of the Hermit, the Virgo. And then we have Knight of Cups. Yes, because the thing is that you have to get enlightened when, you're about to level up and have something come into your life, especially if it's a person here, then you have to level up because I'm sure that you guys have heard this all the time. When sometimes people come into our lives right at the wrong time, like if you were given that thing that you wanted when you weren't ready to receive it, then it's actually going to end up hurting you. You're going to end up losing it. You're not going to end up being able to keep it because you didn't do the inner work. You didn't do the shadow work. So that's why sometimes, God creates a protective energy and isolative energy around you, because you have to get that wisdom to understand the patterns that led you to where you are. So it's protection. Okay, guys, I'm probably going to get out of here. I'm just going to get one more card for you guys. Ooh, 3 of Wands. And we have, ooh, wow. This is what I was saying before, 10 of Pentacles. This is a community. It's important to have a community around you, okay? It's important. It's the only way that you're going to protect yourself against forces that are, not good for you, that are negative. Have that community around yourself. 10 of Pentacles, dynasty. Sometimes see the 10 of Pentacles as an inheritance, but it's not necessarily that. It's just, it's all in the family here. Finding your soul tribe is key. All right. I'm going to get some oracle cards and I'm going to get out of here for you guys. Angel therapy. Ooh. What do we have from the angel therapy? Kajal, hi dear. So I will be raffling off free tarot questions at the All Signs. So look out for that. Otherwise, $5 a question, $20 for an in-depth. We have crystals. The energy of crystals supports you and helps with your present situations. I don't know if you guys believe in crystals or not, but make sure that you're buying pure crystals if you believe in them. Charge your crystals. Then we have you asked your angels for help with this? Didn't I just say that? I was saying you got to ask your angels for help. Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. Ask your angels. I literally said that earlier. You have to understand that if you really, really want help, you're going to get the answers and the help that you need, and it's not always going to show up the way that you want it to. Sometimes when you're in a relationship that you're unsure about, you have a breakup and you say, well, that isn't what I wanted. Well, you asked for help. It didn't serve you, so we removed it for you. Hey, Sayan. No, this isn't a free tarot question reading. You can pay for it. $5 a question, $20 for an in-depth. I'm only going to be raffling off one question at the All Signs. Okay, you guys? I'm going to get on out of here. Ask your angels for help, and they'll be there for you. I hope this reading elevated your consciousness in some type of way, shape, or form. I'll see y'all later. Bye.